you for joining us. I'm Allison Haunss, and this is the Working Woman Report. Have you ever thought about a career in gaming? Maybe you think you have to be a gamer to work in the industry. But the truth is, this industry is so all-encompassing, and not just for people who have a specialized knowledge of gaming. Whether you're someone who loves math and wants to be a programmer, or you're an artist and may be interested in animation. From marketing to human resources to product development, there really is something for everyone.
Mitu Kandekar is a professor of gaming at NYU's Game Center. She says she loves teaching undergrads the ins and outs of gaming, but what she is really thrilled by are the older adults she sees coming in for their masters in gaming.
Our MFA program actually, has folks who've basically come from existing professional practices like other industries to retrain as a game designer. So we've had folks who are architects, we've had folks who are, economists, we've had folks who are playwrights, there's all kinds of different backgrounds. And I would say that all of those different types of backgrounds actually inform you really well as a game designer. For instance, there's a lot of similarities between theater and game design, actually, because you're thinking about how characters move in a space, for instance, right? And how a story is conveyed.
She also has her entrepreneurship hat on as founder of Glow Up Games, a gaming startup led entirely by women of color. The startup recently claimed the top prize at the Pitch Perfect competition at the Wing.
What we want to do is not only to change the pipeline and inspire young girls to be game developers, but we also want to make sure that the industry is a better place for women when they get here.
So how do women get here? And what exactly does here really mean? As Marin Head of Facebook is quick to point out, gaming has evolved in extraordinary ways over the past few years, and so have the opportunities for job seekers.
Gaming no longer is, the teenage boy in somebody's basement playing, first-person shooters, although that's certainly fine. It's now moms that are waiting for their son or daughter to be picked up from elementary school. It's people on public transportation that have had a long, stressful day at work. It's professionals. It's really a wide range of people now that are turning to games to just kind of relax a little bit. And I think the evolution of that has really changed how we market games, how we make games, and how we consume games going forward.
And that's where women come in. The thing is, there are so many career options that many people just don't know about. Jobs that don't specifically require technical skills. Heather Chandler has a great perspective on the industry. She's been in gaming for decades, having served as one of the original producers of the mega hit Fortnite.
I have a career that spans over 20 years in the video game industry. I have worked on over 40 games on every platform imaginable. When I was growing up, I know that I was really interested in math, science, and art. I ended up getting a degree in art history in college because that's really where my passion was. And then when I graduated, I was looking for something that kind of fulfilled my need to have technology and art, and I happened to get an entry-level job at Activision. And when I was there, I had the opportunity to really see and understand how games were made, and I realized you didn't just have to be a programmer. You can be a producer, you can be an artist, you can be a designer, you can work in the marketing department. So if a woman is looking for something after she's been out of the workforce for a while, there are certainly lots of options to look at in the game industry.
Heather's work over her career shows just how deep and life-changing a career in the gaming industry can be, not only for creators and players, but for communities as well. She speaks about a special gaming project she's worked on called Never Alone, which is near and dear to her heart. It focuses on the indigenous culture of Alaska.
This was a 3D platformer game that we developed in partnership with the Cook Inlet Tribal Council up in Alaska. And the goal for them was to make a game that shared their Inupiat culture with the outside world.
In Never Alone, players take on the roles of a young tribal girl and an Arctic fox in a puzzle that combines traditional stories, settings, and characters that have been handed down over generations.
These are the things that as a game developer I really love, because as we look for more diversity in the game industry, certainly having people who traditionally haven't made games, but to say, hey, I have this idea and I want to share my culture and I want to make a game from it, really helps open up the door so that other people realize that they can make games too.
Gaming as a cultural unifier? Well, the people who worked on this game weren't all programmers. This was a diverse team comprised of tribal elders, artists, storytellers, and other community members, as well as game industry veterans. The varied talents required to bring this game to life were wide-reaching. As far as getting more women into leadership positions in gaming, Heather believes that when companies start to focus on work-life balance and the needs of women, we will see more women in the gaming industry.
Is making sure that the company is flexible about their working policies. You know, I've talked with women that once they have children and they need to start nursing, that they need to have a place where they can do that at the office and they don't want to feel weird or awkward about it.
It's those very types of issues that Me Too Kandekar is tackling head-on with her all-female team at Glow Up Games.
With Glow Up Games, what we're trying to do, as an all-women founded company, is try to model what a female-friendly games company can look like. One of the things is allowing flexibility and, working from home. We're mostly a remote team right now with a small base here in New York. Just fostering flexibility in terms of working practices is a really big part of it. The other part of it is really about the kinds of games that we choose to make.
In the end, most women agree this will be a long-term effort, but one worth fighting for.
It's just there's not very many of us, and we need to find more tools and more resources to allow us to communicate and connect with one another, whether that's through a lean-in circle, whether that's through a group or any kind of community that we build on Facebook or off. Women should be at the forefront, whether they be in marketing or in sales or in leadership roles. I think that how we market games to women is also indicative of the games culture out there. And whether you're a male or a female, a career in gaming is a career that is a lifelong opportunity. So I would encourage any female to come into the space and really grow with the industry.
I hope these stories have inspired you in some way to take a look at the gaming industry. As you'll see on Facebook's Women in Gaming site, there are so many amazing job openings at some of the biggest companies around the world. It may take time, but chances are you have the talent to tap into a world you never knew existed. Check out Facebook's She Talks Games video series for more inspirational stories of women working in gaming. Discover the variety of career opportunities that are out there and find out how you can be a part of this exciting, innovative industry. Coming up after the break, we take a look at the rise of women in esports and the fight for gender equality. Stay tuned. That's coming up next.
Where high values drive high demand. Where getting ahead comes from giving back. Where the education earns national recognition. Where? Here at Malloy College. Money Magazine's #1 value all-star in the nation.
Welcome back to the Working Woman Report. I'm Allison Haunss. While almost half of the people playing games are women, very few women consider themselves gamers. And in the world of esports, men dominate. So what is esports? Well, basically, it's competitive level gaming where people play video games as part of a team, just like a professional athlete. The thing is, very few women are signed professionally. And when it comes to making money, it is still the men who take home the big bucks. But things are changing. There's a movement underway to advocate for women and help them move up to the highest levels in the industry. We met some of the incredible women who are well on their way, making their mark and really history in the process. These are some of the women of global esports organization Gen G, which currently fields the only all-female professional Fortnite team. Tina Reyes and Maddie Sun are just two of the groundbreaking women who are part of the organization.
I started gaming when I was 9 years old. My dad and my older brother used to play a game called Combat Arms. It's kind of like a Counter-Strike type of game. I watched them play it and I wanted to get in on it, and then ever since then I've just been playing FPS games. It's stressful being a woman in gaming with all the toxicity, the negativity, but someone has to take the stand in order for more people to join in.
I feel like I have a responsibility, but then at the same time I feel very motivated because I want to inspire all these women to chase their dreams as well. Growing up as a kid, there was no woman role model. I feel like now we're that person for these younger girls.
We caught up with the women at the Fortnite World Cup, which was held at Arthur Ashe Stadium. Yes, the same place where each year the US Open is held. That is how big esports has become. Over the course of the tournament, a total of $30 million in prize money was up for grabs.
While there were no women in the Fortnite final, women like Maddie Sun and Tina Reyes are making inroads and hope to one day be competing in the final, not watching from the stands. With the support of Gen G, they're on their way. The organization provides housing for them in Los Angeles, where they are provided for under contract, earning salaries as members of the team. Nothing is left to chance.
Everything's pretty insane. We play Fortnite professionally, so we're training to 6 to 10 hours a day, every single day.
Oh my god, dude.
Use of the shockwave grenade.
Tina just dunked on Nick. Yo! Beastin'.
So how did Tina and Maddie get involved with Gen G and become professional gamers?
Gen G found me through streaming. They went through hundreds and thousands of VODs of other women, and they found my stream.
Gen G's vision is to create an inclusive environment for all, which is why they prioritize initiatives focused on equality and fairness. As an organization, they understand that the gaming audience is vastly growing and that esports organizations need to step up and create positive communities for female gamers.
We get a lot of online interaction from little girls, and I love it. It empowers me because we're still growing as players, and there's people that look up to us, and we should be making them proud, and that's what my goal is.
Initiatives to include more women in the world of esports are picking up speed. At this special 2-day Girls and Gaming Camp in Canada, young women learn what it takes to compete in esports at a professional level. At the Adamus Esports Training Center, the women go through a boot camp like any other athlete, focusing on the body, mind, and spirit in order to elevate their game. In fact, hundreds of colleges throughout the U.S. now offer sports programs and scholarships for students who excel at gaming. Yes, young women are getting scholarships to college for esports. Even high school clubs and varsity teams are popping up across the U.S., reflecting the tremendous growth. In addition to developing skills that can help individuals succeed, like strategic thinking, teamwork, collaboration, and goal setting, gamers learn about the massive career opportunities in esports through on-site visits to companies like EA and interactions with professional women.
Gaming is so big and so varied. There's all the way from mobile phone games to the peripherals to the teams and the esports. There's so many different jobs in it. There are endless opportunities gaming, and I think it's also very fun and interesting industry.
Exclusively female esports tournaments like the Nissan Supergirl Gamer Pro in Oceanside, California, are also opportunities to showcase women who are playing at the top levels. Adept the Best is also signed to the Gen G organization and is one of the top Fortnite players in the world.
Biggest challenge, I guess, that I faced as a woman in gaming is just being treated as a gamer. I'm just trying to be there and be the best just like everyone else. And people have kind of underestimated me because I'm not afraid to talk on the mic. I will not hide that I'm a girl. And they think that they can kind of quiet me down, but it's not happening. We're here, we're trying to win the game, and that's it. Buck up and win the game. Let's go.
Video game industry veteran Brenda Bailey says that by encouraging more women to become video game creators, more content will be produced, which will in turn encourage more women to play competitively.
There's so many reasons that a girl should consider a career in gaming. Gaming careers are so varied and so creative. Whether you're someone who loves math and wants to be a programmer, or you're an artist and you might be interested in animation or design, or whether you're a really good organizer and you might be a project manager, or you love business, there's so many opportunities to get involved in gaming.
Women like Tina Reyes and Maddie Sun are breaking through so that others can follow.
I want to see like women and men like in the World Cup, like in any esport in general, like competing against each other, not just purely men or like maybe one girl. Put yourself out there in a good way, play as much tournaments as you can, stream, do YouTube, do anything where your name will get seen, because there could be like the best woman out there and you'll never find her because she doesn't like, post anything, no one really knows of her. So branding yourself is a huge part of like getting discovered.
I want to be seen as a professional gamer, and I get rid of the title of female gamer. I think the title is necessary right now to motivate other people and myself as well, but that's my goal, is for like myself, my teammates, and more women to just be part of it and be seen as gamers.
Success for me isn't just like, making a lot of money. Like that's not like success to me. Success to me is like, as long as we can open these doors for people and, break that barrier of men only, that's like, for me, that's like my biggest goal right now, is like have more women step up and play against, men, because there's just like really no difference.
As women, we have a place in esports and gaming in general. Facebook's Women in Gaming initiative is a great place to start exploring and connecting with other women just like yourself. So get in the game and just begin. Coming up next, we head to Black Girls Code and take a look at how this amazing organization is innovating to help bridge the digital divide.
I don't look any different than you, but I have type 1 diabetes.
You can't outgrow type 1 diabetes.
It's not caused by your diet, it's not caused by anything you did.
It's kind of hard to live with it.
It's not easy. I do need to check my sugar a lot, my levels.
If you see someone with an insulin pump or pricking their finger and you want to know more about T1D, just ask them.
T1D looks like me.
T1D looks like me.
T1D looks like me.
Each of these apples represents a different New Yorker. Hey, Tim. How are the kids, Sherry? This one hasn't shown symptoms, but while she doesn't know it, she has COVID-19. So, she goes out, and despite trying to stay 6 feet apart, one sick apple has spoiled the bunch. But if everyone wears a protective face covering, the better protect others and themselves.
Black Girls Code was created in 2011. The organization's mission is to increase the number of women of color in the digital space by empowering girls of color ages 7 to 17 to become innovators in STEM fields.
Inside the New York City headquarters of Black Girls Code, young women are presenting their story concepts, showing their peers firsthand how they can creatively code and bring an idea to life.
It's called the Haunted House. And like the whole application is called like Story App, and then you click the button and start the game.
Game development is just one of a multitude of STEM-related concepts which girls learn at Black Girls Code. The nonprofit was established by electrical engineer Kimberly Bryant in 2011. Essentially, it's a training ground that teaches basic programming concepts to Black girls who are underrepresented in tech.
We look at the work at Black Girls Code. Yes, these girls will be impacting their personal futures. Yes, they will be impacting the futures of their families, their communities. But I think it's so vital and important for us to invest in young women, because these are our future leaders who will create solutions that we have not been able to solve as the generation before.
And invest they have. At the New York City headquarters, world-class architect Danish Kurani was brought in to create a space specifically designed to engage the girls from the moment they step through the door.
It's kind of like you're getting an X-ray through technology. You can see behind the facade, behind the shell, if you will. Right? So there's plenty of games where girls are seeing the bits, the You know, the parts and pieces, the motherboards, the processors, the circuits, everything that's powering technology, they get to see that. With the architecture, we wanted to really pull back the curtain on technology, demystify tech. So how do you show girls that tech is not this enigmatic, tough thing that only happens in Silicon Valley or that you have to be a boy to do?
Kirani says he employed many gaming concepts in his design. One game, which is really popular with the girls, is called Inside Out. 13-year-old Monroe Russell showed us just how it works and why she loves it so much.
This is a GoPro. This is the front and the back, and it's pretty much the same thing. This is the front of the GoPro camera. That's the camera. That's pretty much this. And then this part is the battery and all that thing.
But what do you do when you're in the middle of a pandemic and your beautiful headquarters is shut down, at least temporarily? Well, if you're Black Girls Code, you don't miss a beat. You take that programming online and create a tech series to connect girls across the country.
All right. Well, welcome to the Black Girls Code Presents Tech Me series. Today, we're going to be building your own webpage.
Now, the tech series was established in response to the shutdown. We always wanted to go virtual, right? But it was like, okay, now this is the perfect time to do it.
Game design and development is a crucial part of this new tech series, where the girls are logging on from home and learning about what it takes to have a career in gaming.
Gaming, there's so many opportunities. Even if you don't want to program and, like code the game, you can design certain elements, right? You could jump into like the translation or even a communications piece in the gaming system. There's so many other opportunities.
Instructors also challenge the students about how to bring their real-life experiences into the creation of a game that reflects their own lives.
In our upcoming game, we'll have a little 2D dimensional Black girl coming and she's catching bikes. So it's like we're teaching them how to bring themselves in a game, but also with a lot of our students, we may have girls who's interested in playing games and game design, but they don't feel like they belong.
And belong is what Black Girls Code is all about. It's what Kimberly Bryant hoped for when she originally started it all with a small group back in 2011.
So when we started back in 2011, there were only 6 girls in our classroom, one being my daughter. We're in a little tiny basement in a San Francisco community, and we really didn't know what we were building. Like, we just knew that we wanted to create an opportunity for this small group of girls who are all friends to come together on the weekend and piddle around on a computer and maybe, learn a little bit. And that very small seed of a class, grew and grew and grew until the next year. We saw that we were having 20 girls coming to the workshops on the weekends. We saw that we were having 30, 40, 50, even 100. And we then saw that we grew from being this really small grassroots organization to more of a movement in cities across the U.S. and abroad.
I think the thing that was revolutionary for me was that the only thing I had to do at Black Girls Code events was learn. I didn't have to code switch. I didn't have to manipulate the way I spoke. I didn't have to pay attention to who might be thinking what about me. I didn't have to fight to get my teacher's attention. I didn't have to prove anything about my intelligence before I got in there. My only job was to learn and to make friends and to build that community.
And while the challenges right now are preventing the girls from getting together in real life, they're staying close online with the knowledge that one day soon they'll be reunited at their beautiful headquarters where they can continue to learn and grow.
Black Girls Code hopes to provide African American youth with the skills to occupy some of the 1.4 million computing job openings expected to be available in the U.S. this year, and to train 1 million girls by 2040. If you'd like to learn more about Black Girls Code, simply head to their website, and that is blackgirlscode.com. And that's it for this week's edition of the Working Woman Report. Thank you so much for joining us and being part of our community. Be sure to keep in touch online through our website, workingwomanreport.com, and social media. We are on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, you name it. We're always here to help and share what we learn. Stay safe and stay healthy.